By now, it's no secret that Graeme Souness isn't a fan of Paul Pogba and he blames it on the star's attitude. What did Pogba say about the criticism and what exactly did Souness say in response? All of that is coming up. Welcome to On The Ball. My name is Gabriel and this is Talking Points, the show where we discuss noteworthy things that happen over the football weekend, particularly with regards to the Premier League, but because there's no football and we don't know how much longer we'll have to wait for it to return, we'll be discussing other things related to Premier League clubs and players. And in this episode, we'll be talking about recent statements made by Paul Pogba and Graeme Souness. But before we discuss all of that, if this is your first time on the channel and you want to see more videos like this one, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you know when the next video is released. Paul Pogba has come under much scrutiny during his time at Man United, with nobody criticizing the player more than former Liverpool captain Graeme Souness. He's often called Pogba selfish, and he said that he'd be an absolute doddle to play against. In other words, he's saying that Pogba is an easy opponent. But recently, Pogba had an interview with the United podcast where he was asked about the criticism, to which he responded that he had no idea who Souness was. He said, "I didn't know who he was really. I heard he was a great player and stuff like that. I know the face but not the name. Like I said, I'm not someone that watches a lot of punditry. I watch a lot of football, but I don't stay after the game to listen to what they say about why they did this or why they did that. I like to focus on football." That didn't seem to sit right with Jamie Carragher, who asked Graeme Souness about Pogba's comments, saying, "When you're a player, you've got to be respectful certainly of certain former players with certain opinions. At times you have to take that criticism on the chin. So for Pogba to come out and say he'd never heard of Graeme Souness, I thought really was below the belt." Souness tried to laugh it off, saying he was happy with that, but he was clearly bothered by what Pogba said. Sky Sports presenter David Jones asked Souness to show him the medals, to which Souness' response was, "Exactly. The oldest thing in football comes to mind. Put your medals on the table." Clearly, this is something that struck a nerve with the former manager and player, especially considering he was part of a Liverpool side that won 5 league titles, 3 European Cups, and 4 League Cups during his 7-year stint in Merseyside. But at the same time, Pogba's trophy cabinet isn't quite empty. It includes several league titles with Juventus and even a World Cup with France. Personally, I think the criticism is unwarranted, and he's being made to be a scapegoat because of his flamboyant personality, which isn't even a bad thing. He enjoys his social life, and it seems nowadays players aren't allowed to have it without being criticized by former players or managers. It had gotten to a point where some people were even blaming his poor performance on his hair and how changing it so often shows he's not serious about the game. That is just preposterous. It's time football players are judged by what they do on the field and things that directly lead to their on-field performance. The more you blame players' poor performance on something as ridiculous as a haircut or dancing at a wedding, the more you look like you're not being objective. It just sounds like Souness is out to get Pogba. So what do you think? Was Pogba's comments disrespectful? Should he know who certain former players are even if they're not part of the Manchester United structure? Are certain pundits allowed to say whatever they want about a player, even something unwarranted and unfair? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like the video if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and hit that bell notification icon so you know when the next video is released. I'll talk to you again soon. Adios.